Right, hello there everybody, welcome to the Clery football channel, and I did promise myself I wasn't going to do any more Liverpool videos for a while. You got enough over the summer, but it is Carabao Cup third round weekend. None of the fixtures have the blood flowing south, and producer Archie is on holiday, so I'm going to do something I never normally do, right? And I'm going to get into the narrative. And that is, my friends, the Ballon d'Or. A few years ago, the only people who cared about it were the sort of weirdos who were running Messi or Ronaldo Facebook fan pages, but now, since their era of dominance seems to be ending, it has become a thing. People now seem to really care about who wins it, and more to the point, have very strong feelings about people who don't. And this year, the primary outcry of injustice surrounds one Mo Salah, who has never won it and arguably never had a better case to win it than this year. So, as someone who prides himself as being very sane when he's on the internet, I'm going to get into the numbers and the data, and we're going to look at whether or not we have witnessed a robbery here. And just to forewarn you, the video I thought I was making when I started this is not the video I've ended up making. I learned things on the journey that completely changed my mind. Now, first off, and you're going to get sick of me telling you this, channel memberships. Hey! Full announcement video still in the works, yes, but if you would like to help us decide the videos, if you would like an exclusive interactive video, if you would like discounts on merchandise, and you're right, Liverpool fans, it has come out looking a bit like that really famous away kit of yours. That wasn't intentional, but it's still really nice, along with all the other magic stuff that YouTube makes you throw in for these things. It's the best value channel membership on the internet, in my opinion, and the link is in the description. Shutting up now. Anyway, to business, and this year, after all the votes were tallied, this was your Ballon d'Or top 5. But in reality, it's actually a top 30. Van Dijk got some votes, so did Declan Rice. Cole Palmer came 8th, which I was really surprised about, because the true injustice on this list is that Diego Maradona did not break the top 10. Now, I'm just going to have to get over that, despite how it makes me feel, but for the purposes of this video, this is Salah in relation to Dembele, and it wasn't particularly close. And we're going to have a big look at what they both did on the pitch and dive into all the numbers, because that's where the story truly starts to unravel. But before we do that, I'm going to explain a little bit about how the Ballon d'Or actually works, because I think that's getting slightly missed in all this. L'Équipe, the French football magazine, dream up a list of the 30 best players in the world, and then the top 100 ranked FIFA nations all submit one journalist to vote on it. So, like France, England, Brazil, Argentina, Italy, Germany, Spain, all of these major nations have the same voting power as nations like Kosovo, Haiti, El Salvador. That keeps it democratic, and all of these journalists pick their top 10 out of those 30. Points are then awarded for their 10 picks. You get like 15 if you're first and like 1 if you're 10th. Then they tot all of that up and it gives you the final ranking. Last year, Rodri won with 1,170, only 41 points ahead of Vinicius Jr., so it was tighter than Martin Keown's jeans. Now this year, at the time of me recording this, we don't currently know the points, but as we're here to discuss Mo Salah in relation to Dembele, and he was 4th, you can assume it's not even close. Now what's important though is that the criteria that these 100 journalists are supposed to vote on are as follows. Individual performances displaying decisive and impressive character, which in reality means, did you specifically directly go and impact the really big games? Team performances and achievements, basically like get your medals on the table. What did you win that season? And class and fair play, basically like, are you a fitting beneficiary to get the honor of being called the best player in the world? And that, by the way, is why I think Lamine Yamal's not won it this year, because you cannot be spending your summer just on yachts getting polished off by lasses from OnlyFans, and then just expect them to still award you the big one at the end of it. You are not allowed to have that much fun. But anyway, Mo Salah. So largely discounting the Ronaldo Messi era, because they were just so far above every other player at the time, it largely made a just total mockery of this whole thing. What do those 3 criteria actually look like in real life? Well, if you just go back through years, there is a bit of a pattern that emerges. Rodri in 2024, he'd won the Euros. Messi in 2023, he'd won the World Cup. Benzema 2022, the Champions League. Modric 2018, the Champions League. We're going to ignore just all of this bit. Kaká 2007, the Champions League. Cannavaro in 2006, he'd won the World Cup. Do you see now? Do you see what it is they want? Your absolute best shout of winning the Ballon d'Or is by being a player who is instrumental in a team winning a major continental tournament. So just like open and shut case then, with no international tournament this summer, it was always going to be a player who was playing for the team that won the Champions League. And shock, if we look at that original list of 30, 9 of that PSG team are in there. Like, they're nearly 1/3 of the entire field here, and I would argue very strongly that despite how good the team is, Kvaratskhelia, Hakimi, Mendes, Vitinha, the player who played the biggest role in all that, who best symbolises what they've become, was Dembele, and he decided the most big matches as well, so fair play. But the thing is, right, that's not what it's supposed to be about, is it? It's supposed to be about who has been the best player in the world over the last 12 months. And is that not just Mo Salah, irrespective of what Liverpool may or may not have won? Well, let's discuss that. Now, obviously, we don't have one singular way to measure the best player in the world, but what we do have, thankfully, are like 5 million different data points with which we can compare them all. And these are their FB ref numbers across all the major categories for an attacker. So you've got goals, you've got assists, but you've also got chance creation and overall play, so their general involvement in games. And these defensive numbers just represent, it's the word I want here, graft, working hard, getting stuck in. They're both on the exact same standards for comparison, so it's all competitions over the last 365 days, and it's pretty easy to see, I think, that Dembele has had the better season. All of these 99s here mean that Dembele is literally the #1 ranking player across Europe for that stat. So goals, for shots, all the X stuff that your dad hates, even ball carries, and he's miles ahead of Salah in terms of his passing, his carrying, and beating players. But 1 second there, buddy. All right, don't turn the video off. In the interests of holding your attention, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a twist coming, right? A really big one. You're going to think you know which direction I'm going here and that I'm being really boring about it. And then bam! I'm going to hit you with a bus from the other side of the street, okay? Just stick with me. So anyway, back in the room, even the defensive stuff here that looks pretty even, if we expand it out, it's night and day. Dembele's had a really important role in terms of how PSG press and function as a system, and Salah is largely relieved of those duties by younger, more athletic players in the Liverpool 11, so he can focus on doing what he does best. So yeah, really straightforward, right? Dembele's better, end of video, thanks for watching. Well, not for me, my friends, because as boring as the best league in the world tag is, even if we just take a quick cursory look at Opta's strength of competition graph from earlier this season, you'll see that playing the bulk of your games for the top team in this league versus the top team in this league is a very different proposition. So then, if you're going to look at the data to help you make a decision, surely you need to find a way to address that disparity, right? So if we go back to these numbers and we only look at the Champions League games last season, they actually tell you the exact same thing. Dembele is still Europe's #1 for a number of these metrics, and while Salah is clearly at the very top of his football, it just doesn't quite hit those same heights as consistently. And I've also heard people make the argument, well, if Dembele's so good, why then, if you tot up all the combined goals and assists across Europe last season, is Mo Salah still head and shoulders above everyone else, and he's all the way down in 10th? Like 47 to 27 is a massive difference, and even without penalties, that would still have Salah on 38, which is still the most across Europe. But, and we still haven't got to the twist yet, by the way, that's still coming, right? But do this again by minutes played. and they completely swap around. Dembele had the singular best output across Europe in the last 12 months because he had nearly half the minutes of Mo Salah in the league. And even with all the additional Champions League games and the Club World Cup, he still played 1,000 less minutes than Mo Salah did. But just, you know what it is, right? While that is the single most impressive thing about Dembele's season, it is also the reason why Salah should have won it. And that's the twist. Yes, that's right, the little fucking stats virgin had a look at all the stats and said, I don't care about any of those, give it to the man who was simply the best physical specimen. All of these numbers are individually great, but they are still a product of the team environment you are in. Like, genuinely, do you want to see an enormous sliding doors moment with all of this? PSG put Liverpool out of the Champions League themselves because of this goal from Dembele that is caused by Konate making a defensive error and him punishing it. But just a few minutes before that, Mo Salah has Liverpool's best chance of the game. His movement is great, he gets it on target, but is denied by an unreal block from Nuno Mendes. And just to put that another way, right, Konate doesn't dive in here, and Mendes is a fraction off here, and Liverpool go through. And not only do they go through, but they've got Villa in the next round, Arsenal after that, and then Inter in the final, and you would make them marginal, if not clear favourites in every single one of those games. And this is what I mean about why you have to separate the individual performances from what happens as a team. Because I think if you look at these numbers side by side, they are both individually good enough to be considered the best player in the world. But what does separate them, or for me it does at least, right, is that I think maintaining these numbers when you start 50 out of your club's 56 games, including every single league match, right, is a much bigger achievement than someone who does 38 of their club's 65 games. And just in case you're wondering, like, Dembele wasn't injured last season across Liga and the Champions League, the Coupe de France. He only missed 3 games with injury. He was just very well rotated and very well rested. And I know I'm going to sound like some guy in their 50s taking their under-9s coaching badges way too seriously, but for me, the most impressive ability in modern football is still availability. Like, Salah might not quite have done what Dembele did purely in terms of numbers, but to be doing this 3 times a week, almost every single week of the season, just blows my head clean off. Like, of the 6 games he didn't start for Liverpool, he had the first 3 rounds of the Carabao Cup, the first 2 rounds of the FA Cup, and the 1 dead rubber they had in the Champions League. So every single time the game was big and they needed a result, he got himself in that starting 11. And that is, I don't even have the word for it. There isn't a word for it. I don't think there's another player in the world right now who contributes at such a high level, so dependably, so consistently, and just so frequently. So yeah, just robbed, in my opinion. They're never going to give Big Henry Winter's coveted English media voting spot to me, but if they did, that's where my 15 points would have gone. But also, just to potentially undo all the hard work up until this point of the video, I should also say that I don't think that the Ballon d'Or should matter to you as a football fan. I think it should be a massive deal and potentially life-changing for the players, yes, but for the rest of us, I think it's a major hallmark of how, like, weird the whole thing's got, how we've become obsessed with these people as personalities rather than athletes. Like, the whole thing's just gotten so parasocial over the last couple of years, and by design as well, because agents and the people who manage the players would much rather you supported them than the clubs they play for, so they've manufactured it to be this way. But I digress. It's becoming very, very difficult to have sane discussions about football because you inherently have to talk about footballers, and people are weird about footballers now. And this big golden orb is sort of like the Oscars of that. And yeah, you're right, that is a bit of a weird thing to say after the last 15 minutes, but the point I'm trying to make is that Mo Salah can rightly feel a sense of injustice. He should be disappointed and sad and maybe even a little angry because he deserved to win this, in my opinion. But you should not really feel any of those things. You should, what should you do? You should call your mother, or go make some time for that thing you like and haven't done in ages. And as for me, well, I have to edit this video now, so I'm going to go and do that. But of course, by the time you watch it, it will already have happened. That's weird. Anyway, please do subscribe to us here at ACFC. And of course, you can follow me across all the social medias at Adam Clery, Clery. Quick last plug for the channel memberships. You help us decide the videos. We have an interactive video where you can be part of the analysis and you get cool discounts on cool merch. This is going on sale very soon, I think on Amazon. No, I don't know the price, but we're not going to rip anybody off. That is the plan, and you get the little badges, the emojis, all the stuff that YouTube makes you throw in. I'm actually dead excited about it, and we've got quite a few people already, so it'd be really cool if you personally came and joined. But until next time though, I know I've just said like don't really feel things, but obviously feel things. That's what life's all about, and let me know what those are in the comments down below. Do you think this matters to Mo Salah? Do you think if he retires tomorrow, he'll consider his legacy not fulfilled because he should have won the big shiny gold thing? Yes or no? Down below, please do let me know. And until next time, I'll see you really soon. I wanted to throw in a joke about the Ekatike shirt thing, but I couldn't make it fit. But that was funny, wasn't it? Goodbye.